Welcome to a brand new episode of The Untold, the show where we bring brilliant guests, Ludain. For today's episode, we brought a very special guest because when we finished our conversation with her on the last episode, we discovered that, hold on, wait a minute, she has so many other topics to talk about, so we brought her here again.
Yes, and the person we're referring to is Alramly. And honestly, the way that she talks about things, she puts such a fresh insight into our minds about how emotions work and the inner world works. So today we thought that we could talk to her about something that everyone has experienced in their life, which is jealousy.
It is, yeah. We've dedicated the previous episode to talk about fears within children, but for this episode, it's jealousy mainly in adults, which are, I would say from observing it on a personal level, jealousy is such a destructive emotion that I'm really glad that we've dedicated this episode to talk about it.
I agree. It is known as the green-eyed monster. It can make people act in really bad ways. So I'm curious to see what she has to say about it. And I think that what she says will teach us some new things.
Hopefully you're curious, I'm curious as well. So hopefully the audience are curious. With that being said, we are going to take a break so we come back and sit down with her. Welcome and thank you for joining us on another episode of The Untold. But most importantly, thank you, Alramly, for being our guest again for The Untold.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you, and it was amazing talking to you last time. And this time I thought we could talk about something known as, the green monster, jealousy.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately exists in people's lives. But I want to ask you, could you just tell us, what is jealousy? Is it a natural feeling or does it come from other stuff? What do you think?
Yeah. Again, I'm friend with all feelings, and that's what I help people change their perspective on. Jealousy is not a monster. And it's not unfortunately that we have jealousy, because from my perspective, and that's what I encourage people to say, and we will talk about, let's say, the downside of jealousy, but I encourage everybody, when jealousy comes, have you ever thought that, oh, this is something I want. This is something I would love to pursue. How can I change in my life that can get me to where that person is having or doing? Jealousy has always been classified like this is bad, don't go there, you shouldn't be having that. Even we see it between children, no, we want to treat them all the same so nobody gets jealous of the other. Do you know what are you doing? You're damaging something on the other side, because first of all, you're treating, let's say, children that you're just a copy of each other and there is no uniqueness at all. And then again, when you don't have jealousy, you don't know what you're, let's say, emotionally, what do you seek emotionally? What do you desire? How can you know that something you desire, something you aim for, something you have ambitious for, without feeling like a bit of that sting, oh, they have something I don't have, or they're living a situation I desire or I don't have. When does it transfer into a monster? It's when I see that is something totally separate of me and I can never achieve or I can never have. So instead, what do I do? Because emotions are energy in motion. So, and energy is neither created nor destroyed. It only gets transformed. So if I don't take this jealousy and I transform it into, let's say, ambition, goal setting, a vision, something on the higher end of doing stuff, it's gonna go to, let me envy them, let me just talk about them, let me downgrade whatever they're having. So jealousy is jealousy.
Yeah.
You can add a plus sign to it or you can add a negative sign to it. It's up to you. But jealousy, it's not a monster.
It is. So are there types of jealousy? Is there an emotional jealousy when it comes to friendship, when it comes to business, or is it one, word to rule them all, for example?
Yeah, it's an umbrella, of course. Like you said, it can be here or here or here. But as an emotion, it's jealousy, let's say. Jealousy is the thing and envy is another thing. Envy is like me feeling I want something, but it's outside of me and I feel like I cannot have it or be it. So I'm just gonna, sit and focus on those people or on that thing and feeling sorry for myself, let's say. But it is one big emotion that can fit into any situation in our relationships.
Honestly, I love your take on the whole emotion. I've never heard anyone describe it in a positive manner that way. even how you've said before that feelings are feelings. They're not good or bad. It's just energy in motion, and it's how you address it that's the difference. But I wanted to ask you also, like, healthy jealousy and unhealthy jealousy, like, what's the line? What's the difference between that control and lack of control?
Yeah, is it okay? So let's say I felt jealous. Okay. After I felt jealous, by a week or two, is my life? Am I growing, or am I disintegrating? Like where am I at? That's healthy or not healthy? If I feel like, okay, I'm moving forward, I'm achieving something, I'm doing small steps at a time, that is healthy. And if I am not, and I'm just feeling like, oh, I'm talking about that too much, I'm feeling anxious, I started to worry, I sit with this girl and I talk about it, and I go there and I talk about it, and I go see my boss, and okay, I bring it up, and I go to my mom. It's like you're in loops. And you're not actually in your place, you're going down. So am I leveling up, or am I going down? That's the line.
And also, speaking about the healthy or unhealthy sides of jealousy, I follow a lot of sports, right? From football to American football to martial arts, and even weird sports like, racket and everything. It seems like for a lot of these sports, for a lot of players, jealousy is the root of their success. So when you see a lot of interviews with them, they're like, I had a poster of this successful player, for example, on my wall, and I was like, I want to, be better than that. I want to be better than that. I want to be better than this team. I want to be better than that team. So it seems that jealousy, if you can shift it into motivation, it can lead you to success. So it's not as much of a negative thing as we perceive it to be. It can also be so many positive if you know how to take advantage of it.
Exactly, 100%. Polarity always exists in everything. So as much as you can be in the positive side, you can be in the negative side. It's your choice, because we have free will, and we can choose what we want to do with our emotions. Even like anger. Sometimes out of jealousy, anger comes, and people think that's a bad thing. No, you can actually take it as a motivation. Like you felt anger, like you want to reach to that place. You're not there yet. You feel maybe frustrated of where you are right now. Turn it into a motivation. It's the same charge. Just the same charge that can lead you to a different path. You just choose.
Honestly, I think that's amazing. And mentioning that we have a choice to allow these emotions to overcome us or learn from them, I think that really shows the difference in the character of a lot of people. Because as you said, if you just get stuck in that loop, it becomes negative, not just for you, but for the people around you as well.
Yes.
But if you're able to, be like, I'm jealous of that, but that just means that I want that. That's a whole different approach to it, which I really think is amazing. But I do want to ask though, like some people would think that jealousy, the cause of it comes more from like a lack of self-confidence or a fear of loss or past experiences. Is there any truth in that?
You mean when someone like I state as they are jealous of me because, or this is me jealous of them?
Yeah, like maybe it's, let's say I'm looking at someone and I'm jealous of what she has or something.
Okay.
Or maybe how she looks or how she acts. So I don't know, so whatever reason. Is it because I have low self-esteem, or is it from other factors?
It might, but it's only, okay, it's an indication of what? Okay, let's say I said, okay, so I'm jealous, so that means I have a low self-esteem. What are you going to do about it? Do I want to still be in that place? Or do I want to have it as a motivation to have more self-esteem to reach whatever I want to reach to? Again, labeling and naming is like, what does it help it? What are you going to do with the label? Like a step after. People usually get stuck. I see where you're coming, because we usually, once the jealousy is stated, if I'm jealous from someone, or someone, like somebody says this person is jealous from that person, or I just say like this girl doesn't like me, so she's jealous of me, and we get stuck there. It's like the end of story. No, go on. Finish the chapter. Finish the chapter. It's there for a reason. Emotions come with a message. Get the message behind them. Get to know yourself. Get to understand the message, especially if it is repeating, because they're gonna come repeated until you take the message, like just a delivery guy coming at your door, knocking at your door. If you ignore it, he's just gonna keep calling until you get it, So get the message and move on.
And also, speaking about taking the message and moving on, the argument or the message of nature versus nurture has been here for so long. So when it comes to jealousy, is it something that children are born with, or is it something that you know, because of their experiences, their upbringing, that, you know, makes them feel those kind of emotions. It builds in them.
Yeah, for me, observing children and working with children and working with parents, it is a natural instinct that comes into children. And sometimes they don't know how to explain it, because you see it in very young children. Let's say when there is a newborn in the family, what does the elder one does? Sometimes out of nowhere, they just look at them and then like they really like hit them on the head or do something or take something away. They can't explain it, you know. It's like whatever this baby is getting and having, I want, and I cannot do it, so I'm gonna just like crash into it, you know. That's a very habitual way of dealing with jealousy, but it is there. Yeah, naturally, children are born with it.
It's funny that you brought up that example, because I was told that when I was a very young child, when my younger brother was born, I was very jealous of him, because I was the first child, first grandchild, first girl, I was the first everything. So all the adults' attention was on me when I was a kid. Then my brother came along and suddenly all the attention goes to him. And I don't remember this, but I was told that I was so mean to my little brother. The thing is, I'm a child. I wasn't thinking. I just saw this creature has taken my attention. And I would try to like push him and stuff like that. And obviously there's no vicious intent or anything coming. It's just when you're so young, you're viewing things purely from instinct and emotion. So it's just funny that you brought that up, because I remembered that anecdote from my family. And I actually also want to talk to you about, because I've seen this destroy a lot of relationships, especially in love and things like that. Jealousy sometimes can be healthy in a way, and it's normal in a lot of relationships. But when does it become damaging? When is it actually a bad thing that could destroy a relationship?
Okay, so as I view it is that, let's say, there is two types in a relationship, let's say in an intimate relationship. So there is, I am jealous of someone that is around you, or I'm jealous of you and what are you achieving or what you are having. Again, if honesty is there and trust is builded throughout the time between the two, where they can have an open conversation, it can be stated, like, let's say, the root of it, where does it come from? But a very nice surprise is that, let's say, the root of jealousy, it's not in the other person, it's inside of me. And this goes with all emotions. Let's say I had a trigger. So let's call jealousy, anger, frustration. It's a trigger, right? So I got triggered of something and I felt that kind of emotion. I got triggered. I felt that kind of emotion. The root is inside of me. It's not with that. Even if I remove that person, cause, whatever, that triggered me, it's gonna come up in another place. Why? Because the root is still inside of me. So once I understand, why did I feel jealous? What do I want? What did the person act as a threat to me? And why did I feel threatened? You see how much this goes? And it's all inside of me. If I can totally like skip all of that and on you're the reason. And it's all on you, it's nothing on me. But I'm the one feeling those. Because it takes a lot of work, it takes time, it takes, you know, self-awareness. It's definitely not comfortable, like sitting and answering those questions and like not cutting through. This is actually what we do in sessions. And this is how I help my clients. It's like to go inside of themselves and to see the roots. And once it's there, it's, oh, okay. The root is totally like far away from the person or far away from the situation. It triggered something like very deep inside of me that I didn't even know it was there, you know? And then once that dealt with, you suddenly don't feel jealous anymore.
Yeah. And I'm also glad that we brought the topic of jealousy between adults, because it seems that we're going to be needing a lot more time. So that's why we are going to take a break so we come back and discuss it further. That being said, stay tuned. And we are back from the break. I do want to ask you about something, you know, so we can dive into it more. Jealousy in itself, is it a big enough of an emotion or a feeling that can cause, you know, damage or destruction to relationships, especially between husband and wife? Or is that kind of feeling, jealousy, is, you know, a minor thing on top of other? Or is it by itself a really big issue that we have to address?
Yeah. Again, so jealousy is like okay, so it is a label to a sensation. Okay, and jealousy to me has a definition different than jealousy to you, different than jealousy to you. Everybody have their own definition of what is jealousy. And if again, if it's not addressed right, if there is no open space for conversation, for talking, for like putting hands together to solve whatever we are facing, it can go to a very, let's say, damaging place if it's not dealt right with. You know, like same as anger, same as frustration, same as envy, same as any emotion. So it's by itself, it's not harmful, but what do you do after it's there? That is what caused damage, or it can cause closer bonding as well. You know, you can take the jealousy, understand the root causes, and actually get closer to each other after the emotions is risen, you know.
No, that does make sense. And I love how you've said that it's about you, not the other person, because a lot of people I've seen, and I think we've all been guilty of this as well at some point in our lives, we blame the other person or the figure or reason of our jealousy as the cause of the jealousy.
Yeah.
No one wants to reflect deeper and wonder, why am I feeling this way? What's causing this emotion? Is it because I want that thing myself? Do I want to be better? Is it from an insecurity? Is it from this? A lot of people don't want to take the time to self-reflect.
Yeah.
And as adults, we should be doing that because, you know, we should be at a level now where we are able to look inside ourselves. But children, though, they're different. They're still new to the earth, you could say. They're very much reacting on just pure emotion or instinct, and also mirroring, as you said before, what adults are doing around them.
Definitely.
So, for instance, something that's very normal is jealousy between siblings. I know me and my brother, we had lots of fights growing up, and now we're really good friends. But when you're young, it's really easy for these minor things to become big deals. And for a child, it is a big deal. So how can you address jealousy in young children or siblings?
Okay, that's very, very beautiful, because it is normal to have jealousy, and it is normal to have all the rainbow of emotions
Yeah.
in children, because they need to experience them and to know them and to be addressed by the parent to them, so they can go on into adult world feeling much more secure. They have self-esteem. So let's say a child comes and they feel, sometimes they don't state it, they just go on from survival, like they went ahead, they fight, they do something. So as much as the parent are really aware of their emotion, and let's say you've heard of emotional intelligence, how does a person be emotionally intelligent? Is that they know their emotions and they can manage their emotions, and they are friends with their emotions. They're not afraid with them, and they don't have like a blacklist of emotions and a really good. No, it's like emotions are emotions. So what a parent should be really aware of how the children are behaving, like they have this eye that is different of like what's happening, and they can tell. So usually when I caught like one of my children like having a feeling jealous from there, I usually just take them aside. Did you feel jealous because this, and usually they go, okay, let's talk about it. So at the beginning, they know I'm a safe person to turn into, and they know there is they tried me. They know I don't judge them. They know I don't blame them. They know I don't like punish them for having any kind of emotion. So first of all, they need to know there is someone safe I can turn into. Second of all, have a private space for you and the child to express whatever they want to express. Like, yeah, they did this and I wish they don't exist, and no, they're just getting out of the, okay, get it out of the system, not in front of the other sibling so that the other sibling will come and join. No, like have a private space, let them out, breathe, drink a cup of water. That's it for now. Later on we can guide on, okay, now what you can do. Do you want the same as the toy? Do you wish your friends are here? Do you want some, whatever the situation is, then we can move on. But first, safe, private space, no judgment, validate. That's all. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and speaking about private spaces, you know, unfortunately, with the rise of social media, there's no such thing as private space anymore. So have you noticed from your experience in the field for so long, you know, people's jealousy or their, you know, ability to be jealous of their, you know, significant others have increased with social media, has, you know, quadrupled or anything?
You know, I have heard a lot that children bully each other on social media. So that is a total different level, you know, of security and what a parent should do. Some people, you know, take it to the authorities to stop this. But again, it starts from the home, and how the parents are guiding and teaching their children how to deal with this, Like, because some people, again, if they feel the kids, if they feel jealous, they simply just bully, you know, whether in school or in social media. And I've noticed this a lot, has risen a lot in social media, where, you know, they take pictures of each other, they distribute them, they send them, and then, you know, they started talking. Authorities are always there to help, but and it's from the house as well, how to deal with jealousy. You know, the more practice children have from the, like a 3-year-old, it's not there on social media. The more you can practice with this age, they just pick it up very faster, and it's there in their unconscious mind, where when they grow, they're not gonna go there. They know how to deal with it.
No, that does make a lot of sense. Would you say it's the same for adults? Because adults also on social media, people are comparing their lives to other people. There's a lot of curated content where everyone just shows their best selves. So people think, wow, this person is living their best life, or this person has accomplished so much more than me and we're the same age, or this person is younger than me and doing so much better and making more money. And these thoughts all exist for a lot of people. So how can an adult even kind of regulate themselves in this situation?
Yeah, when you understand that you're here on your unique path, you no longer need to compare. You just get, what's the right word? Is it inspired by whatever the person is accomplishing? And when you know you're on your own unique path, you know, like, for example, I don't want to, this is not something I have passion for to do. I have passion to do something else. That's where jealousy comes. Usually you're not jealous from everybody. Usually we're jealous from specific things that deep down I desire. Okay, what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna help achieve this in your life? Being jealous from everybody, that's just you comparing yourself and not knowing yourself. You're really hard on yourself. You have no self-esteem. You don't actually know yourself, what you like, what you don't like, where do you want to head into. And it all starts from being aware with yourself. Once I'm there, once I know myself, I'm not going to start comparing myself to everybody, you know?
So what are the signs of, you know, someone being excessive in their jealousy? You know, what are some behavioral changes that say, oh, this person's jealousy has gone way too far?
Okay, so it goes back to the survival mechanism that we say, because let's say somebody is very jealous. Okay, so now they feel they're in threat. What do? They're gonna fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fight is anything aggressive, actual fights, or you feel like the person is snapping on everything, you know, and arguing about everything. So they're in their fight mood. The freeze, again, is like where they're stuck, they're not doing anything, like they're passive. The flight is like constant shopping, constant traveling, not from a healed place, like just you feel not sitting in one place, not being able to sit by themselves. They don't want to sit at home. They just like from gathering to a mall, to a shop, to a cafe, to an event, to here, to that, until they're knocked down and they sleep, and then they repeat. So this is flight as well. Or people pleasing. People pleasing is a survival mechanism where I completely want to like destroy myself, remove myself, and I'm in favor for that person to get something out of them, to feel that they're approving me. So these are the 4 survival mechanisms for whether it's too much jealousy or any kind of threat that I feel out of an emotion, let's say.
Well, it's really interesting you mentioned all the steps in that manner, because it does add up, all of it.
Yeah.
But what do you do when you're not the jealous person, but someone you're close to is jealous of you? How can you address that? Because I feel like that's such a difficult situation to be in.
It is, but I'm going to take it back to you as well. Why is that person showing up in my life? The school I come from, it's like full responsibility on my life is on me. It's not on anybody else. So and I do get stuff like that, and when I like, oh, okay, I wonder why is this person in my life now? What are they coming to give me a lesson to? Once you get in the habit, you will get the answer, and that does not mean that you don't set a boundary, a healthy boundary. It's not fight again, we're not coming out of survival, but I know how to set a boundary. Why? But I need to understand, why did they show up in my life? Why someone is jealous of me, very close to me in my life right now? What is this person trying to teach me? It goes back to me.
That's so interesting, the
It
way that
is.
it all loops back. Even I wouldn't have thought that the other people, like maybe something with them, but as you said, they have to be there because they're teaching you something.
Yes, and if it is something for them, that's upon them to deal with it. It's not my responsibility. If they are jealous of me, they need to go figure it out by themselves and what to do with it. But am I bothered? Is my life being, triggered out of it? Is my mood shifting because of that person? Usually it means, if that is a yes, it means I'm not setting a clear boundary and protecting my life of how I want to live it. Why is that affecting me? It's totally on me.
No, that's a very good question.
It is, yeah. And speaking of things that are affecting you, so now you identified this person, is a person who feels greatly jealous.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? Especially if this person is someone close to you. How do you approach that person and be like, well, you are this and that, without the other person feeling agitated, angry, or taking offense?
Okay. So first of all, their jealousy, what are they doing with their jealousy? Are they crossing the boundaries to my life? Are they harming me in any way? So the setting the boundary is on me, definitely. You can talk as adults, address it as adults, do all what you can do in a respectful manner. At the same time, you said without them getting irritated, without them getting, it is their responsibility. If they get irritated from me setting a clear, healthy, respectful boundaries, it's not on me. They need to deal with their emotions. It's not on my hand.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to. I always say, people are allowed to feel feelings. I can set my boundary and my child can be screaming off their head. It's not fair, it's whatever. They're allowed to feel that feeling. It's not going to change anything in me.
Yeah. And I'm glad, the message here is to set up boundaries between you and the other person, because as always, it's better to communicate with them than to try and find a common ground. With that being said, I do want to thank you for joining us on today's episode of The Untold. Honestly, this was amazing. I'm greatly thankful for you.
Thank you for hosting it. Time has flew, I think.
It really has. This has been an amazing conversation, and thank you for all your insights. It's, I think, a very fresh take to how people would approach jealousy, and I hope the audience also learned these lessons. But with that, we are going to take a quick break. And we're back from another amazing conversation with Sarah. Abdullah, I don't know about you, but I learned so much from this topic. I had never seen jealousy as being able to be a positive emotion. I always thought it was going to be negative. But her approach to it is, what can it teach you about yourself or others? That was something I'd never thought of before.
It is, honestly, and talking from a person's perspective, I have older siblings and I always felt jealous of them, right? Because they have, let's say they were getting top aces and top grades in school. They were getting all the best schools, private schools. I was being sent to the lower schools. I was like, okay, where's the balance? So I'm really glad that we had this episode to talk about these kind of emotions and to, describe them, to differentiate them between when they're harmful, when they're okay, when they are beneficial, when they're positive, when they're negative. I educated a lot from this episode.
So did I, and I loved her insistence that it's all about going and reflecting deep inside yourself. Especially as adults, we are in charge of our own emotions and choices, and we choose if something's going to affect us negatively or positively. And it's okay to feel jealousy or any emotion. It's just how we address it and what we do with it that really matters.
It is, and that's why being an adult is such a dangerous matter, because sometimes you don't know how to deal with your emotions. So thankfully, we've dedicated this episode to talk about how to deal with your emotions. With that being said, Lujain, that's it from us, the end of The Untold.